The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
That's selling out rinks wherever he goes.
Yeah, no, it's crazy to watch. Anyways, this weekend, it's Super Bowl week now, Dave. We've been gearing up for this since we started talking football back in, I think, late August, for sure, early September when the season started. Super Bowl week's upon us. One of the big storylines is the brothers Kelce playing against each other. Dave, I'm going to set the over-under because actually last night did you watch the Grammys last night?
Ah! No, I watched more All-Star Game than I did Grammys.
It actually wasn't too bad. Like Deanne's an award show person, so we watched it last night while we're having our Sunday night Scrabble game. How old are we? But yeah,
good for you, because all I needed to see was tribute to hip hop, and I said no, thank you.
It was actually entertaining. Like that was actually the best part of the show. And I'm not a hip hop guy, but it was actually good. Like there were some all the songs. I was bopping my head. It was good. It was actually really good. But what was I talking about?
Did you watch the Grammys tomorrow? Brothers Kelce.
The brothers Kelce are playing. The over-under to see his mother on the television. I think what's it on the broadcast at Bodog or BetUS.com. The over-under to see their mom on TV's got to be like 9.5. It's got to be in the first half.
Well, I know we're going to touch on Thursday, but we're going to look for that on BetUS.com, that prop bet. How many times the mom makes the telecast?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like this is the first time in NFL history, or I think maybe even sports history. We'll get into that in a little bit, but that championship game, like usually it's a series that two guys have been playing against each other, going head to head, two brothers. Man, that's got to be tough for the family. It's got to be. You can say it's not, but it's got to be.
No, I actually completely disagree. Because A, you're walking away a winner. B, your heart might burst with the pride that you have in the accomplishments of your children. It's like I'm at the Super Bowl to watch my children, two of my children on the field on opposite sides, two totally different positions, making it by their ability from small schools. I think the immense amount of pride she would be. It's always the mom, right?
It's always the mom. Yeah,
it's always the mom.
Half and half jersey, whatever she's gonna be wearing, and everything.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know if their dad's on the scene or anything, but I have seen this things on Twitter with their mom, and honestly, like she'd be walking on air, and she. Like, I can't watch. I'm watching every single goddamn play because that's the joy of it. When the Eagles are on offense, she doesn't have to watch, right? Because no, she does because
he's a center.
Because he's a center. Sorry,
So that's actually the good thing about this is that they won't physically be playing against each other at any time in the game, so she can kind of cheer for both teams, and whatever happens. She can just blame the defense and say, "Yeah, good enough." It wasn't my boy's fault. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't Jason or Kelce. It's neither your fault. You guys did your jobs. If they score a bunch of points, somebody's defense didn't do their job, and that's probably what she's hoping for.
Yeah, she wants to see both her sons play a good game and walk away healthy, and she's going to be in a winning locker room and a loser locker room if she wants to tomorrow night.
You wonder what the team has mandated a little bit to say, like because they have a podcast they do. It's called what the hell is it? New Heights podcast. It's everywhere. I'm sure it gets 1 million downloads a day, but you wonder what the two teams have said for the protocols to say, okay, you can talk with your brother because in the end of the day, you're opponents. You wonder what the protocol is and how it's all going to shake out, because you probably shouldn't be tilting beers with your opponent the night before the football game or 2 nights before or hanging out or whatever it is, because no matter what, like these guys they could be best friends. They could be, and this isn't even the brothers. They could be best friends. They could be lifelong old schoolmates or whatever. Eventually, you have to have a bit of not a hatred, but a dislike, I guess, because football is a violent game. So you got to kind of put your happiness aside, I guess is what I'm going to try to say. Like, you wonder what the teams are like when they go, okay, that's it with your brother, man.
I would be disappointed in the Kelces or anyone else that has this kind of relationship if the team actually did have to step in. Both those boys want to win so bad. and they understand how big the situation is. They understand that it's unique, and they know that this doesn't happen very often. But they want to win, and they don't want to be looked upon as turncoats or affecting the outcome of the game anywhere else than aside from their play on the field. So I would imagine the coach or somebody has said to each of them on the side, okay, so like just like I gotta ask, let me know when's your last podcast, and then let's go forward from that.
That's it. That's all. That's see you later.
Yeah, I don't think it has to be anything official or that kind of thing, because at the end of the day, these guys are playing the sport for the ultimate prize, and you're so close, and you never know when you're going to get this opportunity again.
Like this one might be a little bit easier than, like, let's say if there was the Kachuk brothers playing against each other in the Stanley Cup Finals, where it goes 4, maybe 7 games, right? So a 1-game winner take all situation for the family might be a better situation compared to, say, if Matthew and Brady were playing each other in a 7-gamer. That'd be a tough road for the family to, and they're both the Eastern Conference now, so it can't happen. But for the Stanley Cup, but that would be a tough row to go down, because man, that could last 2 weeks where parents and families and everything else is a bit split up. These families are so close nowadays in comparison to what they were 40 years ago. It'd be tough, man, to go a 7-game series, and the emotional roller coaster that would be.
For sure, because also in hockey, like even in a game and then carrying on to the subsequent games, one of the brothers takes a run at the other, not the other brother, but like a line mate or something, and now the hate's brewing between the two teams, and now you're in game 6, and the stakes are a little bit higher, and then you might actually punch or cross check your brother in the face, not even actually realizing that it's your brother, because that's what I do when someone messes with one of my teammates.
It's because it's a Donnybrook when I like that word, Donnybrook. It's a Donnybrook when that stuff happens. Yeah. Like there's just a mass of people and arms and feet and sticks just swinging, and not as much as it used to be. It's the Flames game tonight's an exception, hell of a game tonight. But when you just grab a guy and you're just punching for your own life, let alone your teammate's life, man, you don't know what could happen. If it ends up being your brother in a Stanley Cup playoff game, man, that'd be something different.
I remember when I was quite young. When I say quite young, I want to say 16. My brother is a year younger than. He's 2 years younger than me, but he's only 1 year calendar, if that makes sense. He's 1 year and 11 months younger than me. So even though I'm 2 years older, he always played on the team right below me.
Yeah.
And so we would play occasionally, and at the elite level. And one time, I don't remember the specifics, but I remember taking a massive cheap shot and dropping him like a sack of shit. And then I did it without realizing it was him. And then he was down and he was like holding his ankle, and I'm like, oh Jesus, sorry. And I felt sadness in my heart at that second. But it just shows you that once you're in a game, because this is a grudge, this was a grudge match game.
Yeah.
Like the young guys are always playing harder against the old guys.
Oh yeah.
And we thought it was going to be a cakewalk, because when you're 11, 12, the 12-year-olds just stomped the 11-year-olds. But once you're like 16, 15, it's definitely a more competitive game, because not everybody's bigger and stronger anymore at that age.
Yeah, like my brother, he's 5 years younger than me, so we had that situation come up. I mean, we were a little competitive when different things we did, but nothing like that. And he's actually in Philadelphia tonight. He went to the Flyers Islanders game. He said the streets of Philadelphia, it's all Eagles everywhere, everything. It's absolutely crazy. They got there last night, and he said it's absolutely nuts. Even at the game tonight, they were chanting "Let's go." let's go Eagles at the Flyers game tonight. So he says it's unbelievable the atmosphere in Philly already, and it's only Monday, right? So
are the poles still greased? Like, did he get grease on his hands? Is he
I
gonna
will.
try it?
I'll ask him after the show. They're out and about having a good time tonight. Maybe having a cheesesteak or something tonight, or maybe we went to Rocky Balboa's old bar. But no, so yeah, good on Mike to be out there. But yeah, it's
Tell him to stay off the pole.
well, I don't know if gotta watch how you word that, Dave. Might come up to one of our next sponsors actually, but whatever. No, it's like you got to like you look back over the years and like in football, there's been a few guys, a few opponents who've been brothers and everything else. But the ones that stick out in my mind, obviously, are the Sutter brothers, because there were 6 of them at one time in the National Hockey League. And we're not talking about how Daryl's coaching now. That's where we beat that one to death. But if you think about when those guys played hockey each other, like it was Dwayne and Brent played for the Islanders, and then Rich and Ron, when they got done here in Lethbridge, they played for the Flyers, and so they're in the same division. And so night in, night out, man, like there was a good chance brothers were playing against each other twice a week.
Daryl was in Chicago, right? Yeah, so there was Sutter on Sutter crime.
And Brian was in St. Louis, I think, right? So there was Sutter on Sutter lovings every night of the week against each other, playing each other. Like you just wonder what kind of family that was and how they how that family dynamic must have worked. Must have been interesting.
It would be so interesting, like, because this is just 2, and you never to have 4 active 5.
5, 6, I think at one point.
5 active.
5 for sure, maybe 6
siblings playing on a nightly basis in the NHL. I couldn't imagine what that was like, because that's a contact sport. Like even if it does happen in baseball, it's different because there's really no chance of actually a brother punching another brother in the face, right? Where in a hockey game, it's a real possibility, because I could imagine how many times they punch each other in the face on the farm in Viking, Alberta.
Nonstop. Nonstop.
There was constant roughhousing.
Like, I don't think roughhousing is the word for it. Like, I think it was absolute fucking mayhem. Yeah, like, just man, I couldn't imagine the grocery bill there. Like the whole thing. The Sutters is around here. That's legendary. It's legendary stories and everything else. But you just this Kelce thing's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I hope the media doesn't get too caught up in it, and they always do. I hope the media